sharpened his fingernails once again for the newest one called, believe it or not, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. Let's take a look at a clip from it. Please welcome the man who plays Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund.
Shake!
How you doing?
Left hand.
How are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
That was, those are great movies.
They are.
Very scary.
I've seen all of
Yes.
them.
You're sick.
Okay, now, in the past, you've been in other movies and television shows, and you played a nice guy in most of your roles. So what made them pick you as Freddy?
I don't know. It was strange. I was doing the television series V at the time, and I'd become quite popular. It was the first time I'd ever had fan mail and stuff like that. But the character on V was sort of like a human equivalent of E.T. And I was a little afraid that I was going to get typecast because we had just gone from a very successful miniseries into the regular series. And the Nightmare on Elm Street film sort of fit perfectly in my hiatus in between the miniseries and the series. And originally they wanted a very big man to play the part, and he was to be mute. He wouldn't speak at all. And I went in, and I was sort of in my punk rock stage at that time. My hair was a lot blonder, and I penciled circles under my eyes, and I wore all black, and I played a staring game with the director, Wes Craven, as he told the story to me. And I must have done something, you know, right, because I got the part.
Congratulations.
Stared at him the whole time?
Yeah, it was like a staring game. And I mean, I was acting. It was like I was really playing that staring game you play if somebody's looking at you funny on the subway or something. You know, you just kind of look at them like, yeah, I dare you, I dare you. You know? And listening very intensely, and I guess that's what worked.
Well, were you scared when you first saw yourself as Freddy?
Not really, because we had to go through a whole process arriving at the final design for the makeup. The original makeup was designed by David Miller. The Nightmares 2, 3, and 4 have been designed by Kevin Yeager, who did Cocoon, all the effects in Cocoon, among other things. But Nightmare 1 was designed by David Miller, who did the Michael Jackson video Thriller, all the effects in that. And we had to arrive at the look of Freddy. At one time, only half of Freddy's face was destroyed, and the other half was going to be normal, so that if you looked at him on the normal side, you'd be able to reveal, you know, the horror of the other side. And then they decided, well, we better make him all ugly.
So how long does it take usually to put all that makeup on?
Oh, I thought you'd never ask that. That's the question I get all the time. It's a healthy 3 hours. If I'm starting with close-ups, it's a little longer because of the detail around the eyes and the mouth. Oops, the mouth. And on Nightmare 4, I had a couple of sessions that were 7 hours because they buried hydraulic wires and goat bladders underneath the actual appliances of the makeup so that I could, you know, I would swell out and so that my victims would escape me. They had like little arms, little hydraulic armatures with arms in them and radio-controlled wires running down underneath the makeup and underneath my shirt and sweater and down my pants, and like underneath me while I'm acting are about a half a dozen puppeteers with radio-controlled transformers making all these things work and expand. They blew a balloon up in my ear on one of the takes once. They had a balloon that like made one whole side of my head swell
Didn't
up.
pop, did it?
It did. My father was on the set that day visiting. You know, it was like, you know, my son, the Shakespearean actor. There I am, bolted to the scenery, and this thing's going, and it exploded. You know, and I didn't hear for like about 20 minutes. Yeah.
Well, does Freddy have a nice side to him?
Nah.
Secret nice side?
I think it's dangerous to, like, I mean, I have a lot of fans now, and the movies are very popular. And it's a temptation sometimes to make him even more well-rounded or beg a little pity from the audience. But I think that's very dangerous. I think it's better to let Freddy operate as the symbol of evil which is what he is. He is not redeeming on any level. Freddy is absolute evil. I mean, he may make you laugh, and you certainly might anticipate his actions with his victims, but no, I don't think on any level we want to think that there's a good side to Freddy.
Do you miss playing a nice guy?
Not really, because last year I had a series on CBS where I played a pretty nice guy, a show called Downtown. Oh, Blair Underwood, who's doing so well now on L.A. Law, and Michael Nouri from Flashdance were my co-stars. And it was a terrific role. We got canceled, but I got to play a different character every week, departing from a kind of a personality-less neutral character, kind of like if you saw that Woody Allen movie, Zelig, that was out a couple of years ago. It was kind of like that. Yeah, but that's sort of like what the character was based on. But that was just last year, so I've been pretty busy with other roles, too.
Have you always loved horror movies, like since you were younger and everything?
I cannot tell a lie. No. I liked, when I was a kid, I loved Forbidden Planet. I remember that movie making a big impression on me. But no, my taste went the other way. Well, Robbie the Robot comes from Forbidden Planet. It's an old 50s sci-fi classic. But no, my taste went the other way. I was kind of a theater snob for a long time and liked more of that kind of stuff. But since I've done Freddy, I've had to become really aware of the horror genre. And I love John Carpenter's remake of The Thing and a movie by Brian De Palma called Sisters are two of my favorite horror movies. So check them out. Rent them at your video store. You'll like them.
Well, we have to go to commercial. Sorry. Don't go away, because when we come back, Robert Englund will be with us, and we're going to show you what to serve at your next dinner party, just in case Freddy happens to drop by. So don't go away.
And now back to Don't Just Sit There.
We're back with Robert Englund, better known as Freddy from the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. And about dinner parties. What would you do if Freddy was invited to a dinner party? So we're going to show you things that Freddy could do at a dinner party. And first, just start off with the invitations.
All right. Freddy is not all, fun and games. He does get invited out, and these come in quite handy. So a little Freddy etiquette. Well, he's been invited, and he opens up the envelope. And let's see here. I see this one coming. A mile away again. All right, here we go. The gift that keeps on giving, and giving, and giving,
Another one.
It's for you.
Thank you.
There you go. Now, always at parties, you see cocktail wieners. And is this good for Freddy?
One of my favorites, yes.
Does Freddy like these?
Yes, I know. It's always a good party when they serve cocktail weenies. Oh, we spilled, but not the one we chose for ourselves. Yum, 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 yum. And Freddy is very clean. I know, no fingers, no hands.
You're very handy.
What have we here? My favorite! Lady fingers! It looks like the remains of Heather Langenkamp. Remember her? She played Nancy on parts 1 and 3. But you see the dexterity and the grace with which Freddy can handle himself at any soiree in your neighborhood.
So do these go well with a tuxedo?
They look great with a tuxedo, with a red and green tie and a red and green cummerbund.
Oh, yes.
Real fabulous.
And corn on the cob.
For your summer barbecues when you don't want to get butter all over you. Freddy loves them, and of course he has the teeth to do the bite.
Of course. Now you have an apple.
Ah, an apple. Well, Freddy was teacher's pet.
Right.
I imagine.
Let's peel the apple here. Wow, those things are powerful.
Pretty quick.
Now, is there anything else you can do with these sharp
else?
things?
There's something I love to do. It drives kids nuts. Can you guys, you fix me up with a blackboard?
Oh, sure.
Sure.
Blackboard.
Blackboard.
Check this one out,
Ooh.
guys.
What's he going to do?
What are you going to do?
No. Oh, no.
Oh, and there's more on this side.
Throughout history,
history, people have inflicted